Hi, ladies, and welcome to this week's episode of Comfortable and Confident Inside and Out. Have you ever wanted to connect with your practical intuition and what that can do for you? If so, then today's episode is for you. We've got Abby Gooch on, and she is an intuitive success coach. And she's here with us to share her top tips on how to connect within deeply and what that means for you. So you might be wondering who I am and what this show is all about, and those are two great questions. So I'm Suzanne Gundersen. I'm a holistic stress relief mentor, and I help women to relieve anxiety, chronic stress, and build confidence. For the last 10 years, I have been helping women to be able to have improved relationships, improved health, whether that's mental health, emotional health, physical health, be able to gain clarity on their life purpose, and maneuver through important life transitions, all using a technique called energy tapping. So this show is Comfortable and Confident Inside and Out, which is a show where I bring you top mentors in the areas of health, wellness, beauty, finance, to be able to share their top strategies to help you feel comfortable everywhere that you go. So today we're joined by Abby Gooch, who is an intuitive success coach. And I know she's got so much to share with us, so I'm going to just welcome her and have her share with us all of her passion and good vibes and everything that she's got. So welcome, Abby. Thank you so much for being here. Please tell us a little bit about yourself.
Welcome. Thanks so much, Suzanne. It's always such a pleasure to be on these shows and just to connect with all of you women. Practical intuition is one of my favorite topics because it's how I've lived my life and helped so many other people. And the thing is, it's so natural. Practical intuition is really, it's an innate way of being. And I think in business, we're constantly using it and we don't even know. It really can be described so simply as your gut feeling. And the way you get to that is you pass through the passageway of your heart. So we have all this information, all this data, constantly. Every moment of every day is filled with information, right? And our brain is constantly picking up more facts. And some of it makes us feel anxious. Some of it makes us feel comfortable, whatever it is. We have this unconscious response, right? Which you could maybe call a trigger or a reaction. The beautiful thing about practical intuition is when you bring it into the heart, you actually connect with yourself, everyone and everything around you from love. So it becomes more grounded and more neutral and safe for you and everybody around you and the environment. And then you drop it into your gut. So that gut feeling is the instinctual knowing. There's science now where there's 500 million cells in your gut alone. So it actually has a higher intelligence than just your mind.
I know. I've heard that the gut is the biggest brain of the body,
Totally. Yeah. So that's why it's drop into your body, feel your center, and let it guide you. So it's kind of like an inner compass. And it's funny, I was thinking about it on the drive back to my office is, we have our intuition, which is that compass that guides us. And it is followed by practical step plan, right? So it's I started my company when I was 19 off my intuition, off that guidance. But I also took very practical action, right? I set myself up. I got an office, I did marketing, I did the things, I took action. So intuition is not a sit back and bypass, don't do anything. It's very active and, it's practical because it's real, right?
Great point, because I feel so much of the time people think well, if my intuition's guiding me, all I have to do is just be this channel and all of a sudden things will magically appear. It's that's only half the formula.
Yeah. So channel it. You are that conduit of source, of the universe, of that love. But take action, right? And so because you are the conduit, you are the action piece too. So that will give you the results. And as you come from that heart-centered place, like I said, you're connecting to everyone and everything around you. So it's this beautiful dance. And you kind of feel something before. That's your intuition, right? If you say something, it'll resonate or not with somebody, right? That's that knowing before it happens. So you want to trust that. Intuition is very much about trusting yourself.
Yeah, and so you've been doing it so effortlessly since you're 19, a young girl, so you're really anchored into knowing it. And I know there's a lot of women who are out here listening to us right now that might say, hey, I'm not 19 anymore, and I've got these impulses, but I don't know how to trust them, or my mind is just so conditioned to override things and take over. Do you have any practical suggestions to really learn how to build that inner trust?
Try it. So the next impulse, the next intuitive nudge you get, take action. Like, let it be a small step and watch what happens. It's really fun. And then you'll trust and you'll just keep building on that like a muscle.
Right. I love it. So you've got to just take that leap and just listen. Well, first listen and then take that inspired action to go follow up on that.
Yeah, listen, trust, and then take action, because that trust will actually build this inner confidence that isn't like this fake like confidence. It's like a very deep knowing, because you're becoming it, you're living it, it's moving through you as you.
Right. I love it. That's amazing. So can you give us some examples as to how we can, how we put this into use in our life? Like, why is it useful to have this access to this practical intuition? Is it just for helping us with certain things, or is it everything? Or, what can we really make use of it for? How is it really helpful?
Yeah, so it's really a case-by-case basis, but it's basically to get the results that you want. So like I said, you want to have a plan. So if you're in business, you're working towards a certain goal, you want to say, okay, my goal is to, make 10 grand this month, for a business owner that's maybe just a solopreneur. Okay, so that's the goal. Now, intuition, activate, what are the next steps I need to take? So the way you apply it is you have your plan. Again, it's like intuition and intention, and you marry them. So you bring them together. So you just bring intuition to whatever you're working on. You can absolutely use it in relationships. You can use it for health. Again, it's dropping into the knowing, trusting, taking action. Same stuff.
Love it. Love it. Thank you. So I know you have a whole program that you offer in your coaching service, So can you tell us a little bit about that and what you do, and how you're being of service and sharing this amazing gift with people who we already have it. It's just you're kind of helping them kind of brush it off and really learn and lean into it. So could you tell us a little bit about what you do and and your approach with it?
Yeah, absolutely. It's funny. Obviously, I was kind of intuiting this interview before it happened, because I was thinking, we already have the answers within it. So that's kind of the basis. And it is like shedding off those layers of conditioning that don't serve us anymore, which are basically beliefs that don't. So the way I teach the year-long program is we have these energy activations. So 7 of them is the main one that I use. And so what happens is when you activate those, you start to open up to that divine infinite potential. Or you could just, like innate, if you want to use that word, whatever it is, it's basically your natural way of being. So as you activate each of those centers and you clear the conditioned blocks around them, you start showing up your full authenticity. And I actually teach people how to either grow their business or just to create a life they love. So it's very specific as to what you're wanting, but you can use it in your current business or a new business, developing relationships, whatever you want. So yeah, we can talk more about that for people that are interested, but it basically just takes you through the steps. And then I coach you along the way to get the support that you need to really manifest or live what it is that you're wanting.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So there's so many books out there that people read about, how to go find your purpose. How do you go about getting what it is that you want? But it's always aligned with some kind of a thought process or some kind of mental capacity of do these steps instead of really, going within and letting that internal guidance system, like you said, that compass inside of you say, no, I need to do this today, or this is what I'm feeling most aligned with. Every day I wake up and I think I have a list of things what I'm going to do, and I end up doing sometimes something completely different because I wasn't inspired to do that. And so I get a lot of women I know who are in this group in my community talk about how they have lack of motivation and they really feel like they're procrastinating. And so I think if we start to feel into what it is right for us to do and taking that next inspired step, that we can really get a lot more done and we can feel much more accomplished, and we don't have to feel like we're delayed, that we're actually getting work done, as opposed to, I have this thing I'm supposed to do and it's on my list and I'm not doing it. Well, that's okay. Maybe it's not the right time for it right now. So
yeah, there's a key here about really inspiration. So it's like when you are, activating and balancing each of these centers, you're in alignment. So you're inspired. It's not a force, and it is a timing thing, right? Like you naturally do it. Like for me, when I started, it wasn't like I was forcing myself to go like put out flyers. It was like I was so excited to share what I had. So literally, it's the life force energy moving through you and you trusting that. So, I mean, there are things like, doing taxes or whatever, which you can procrastinate. But really, if you get in your center, there's going to be a time for that too, right? Because you're actually balanced in that place where you can do it. So
Right.
it's not so much about force as much about flow and alignment, with giving yourself what you need so you can fully show up for yourself and express your truth and be
Yeah.
seen.
Yeah, I love that because we have a Monday mantra, and this month we're talking ease and flow, which is a beautiful phrase that's from Abraham Hicks that I follow and I love, to really help us embody that space of being in that ease of being in our body, and then the flow of letting things come to us, and then taking the strongest inspired action from that, as opposed to forcing something on a list that is just not going to be authentic with us in the moment. So, and it's such a different way of living because we're just so conditioned the other way. Like, here's your task list, get it done.
Yeah.
And then you think about how many times you get that done, but then have to redo it again because it really wasn't something that was really truly coming from a place of like, oh yeah, that's it. That's my message. That's how I want to share myself.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we just waste a lot of time, and that I think being in our practical intuition is going to be so helpful for so many women. So,
And being who you are, Suzanne, that's the biggest thing, is like giving yourself permission to be who you are, like dropping that, like how you think you should be, or the facade, or what you think, like really to like be true to yourself and just honor what's true for you and just watch your world change from that place, like you say, of authenticity. But it's really from that place of love, that creates that flow, because you're in harmony with the universe then and yourself.
yeah, that's beautiful. That's beautiful. Do you have any tips for any of the women who might be listening who are just saying, that sounds amazing, but how do I get from all my clutter and confusion and I don't know how to trust my body? Like, what's a good place to start to be able to even lean into, what's something that I could, where's my heart? I don't even know what it feels like, and ladies, if you're listening and watching us right now, you comment, let us know, like, do you access your intuition often? Do you know how to do it? What practice do you have to get into it, or you struggle with it? Let us know. But
That's funny. What comes to mind when you say that is meditate. And I think this is the right link if I can remember it. But if you go to lifeforceconnection.com / I think gift.htm, I have a free meditation that'll actually take you into your body. It's like 15 minutes. And it'll like guide you into that place that knows, because your body actually has the answer. So that's why I was saying, from your head chart to your gut, like your cells, like if you think how many cells are in your body versus just your brain, like it's like, I don't know, like 80 to 20 probably, right? Like my head's here, my body's down here. So to tap into that and just ground into your body, there's like this relief and this safety that can happen where you're not in fight or flight or anxiety. You're in like truth and alignment and calmness. So I recommend that, or even just spending 15 minutes alone in silence. Just sometimes it's helpful to have something to guide us. Otherwise the mind can kind of spin out. So it's nice to kind of like have somebody to take you into that center. So yeah, I'm happy to.
Yeah, that's beautiful. So you have a meditation. We'll make sure to put the link in the description box.
Yeah, I think that's the right one. Yeah.
Yeah, and by the way, all of Abby's information is going to be in the description box of this video, whether you're watching it on Facebook or YouTube, it's going to be in that description box. It sounds like you have a beautiful meditation to get there. And also as a part of this group, we practice grounding rituals and techniques to be able to help us get into the heart center. So, I love, there's a Zen poem called Let Everything Breathe. And so I just slowly scan the room, and I just, wherever my eyes land, I tell myself that little prayer mantra of, okay, now I'm going to let the pen breathe. I'm going to let my glass of water breathe, and give it each 1 or 2 breaths. That way it slows me down, and then I can start to more safely get into my own body. Because sometimes my body's freaking out if I've got anxiety. So I have to start kind of externally, kind of pacing myself through the room to be able to get to a place of more calm. That way I can be that grounded thing, and then welcome that, that in, and then really know what it is that I'm feeling. So.
Yeah, that's a whole other discovery, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Awesome. Well, this has been a really wonderful, refreshing, enlightening, and embodying conversation about intuition. So thank you so much for being with us today and sharing. And as I mentioned, all of Abby's information, contact information will be in the description box of this video. And ladies, if you have any questions or comments, feel free to pop them in the chat. We're happy to get back to you, and want to be able to help you all be able to access your practical intuition for all the wonderful reasons that we talked about today, because it can help you not only in your business, but in your life, to be able to help you really make decisions that are coming from a place of your connectedness in love, which is, I think we're all learning where we need to be going into the future of how we're exchanging ourselves and our personal value with the people in our lives, and how we exchange monetarily with our jobs, and who we are based on our worth. And the more we can practice learning to get into our practical intuition, the more confident we're going to be when we go out there. And this whole show is about helping you have strategies to be more comfortable and confident in every capacity of your life. So Abby, thank you so much for joining. I really appreciate it. Do you have any last comments or anything you want to share? Don't mean to put you on the spot.
No, you're fine. I mean, the only thing that comes to mind is trust yourself. Like, you know more than you think you know.
Beautiful. Yes. Beautiful. Thank you. Well, thanks, ladies, so much for listening to us today. And remember, every single week, Mondays, 8 p.m. Eastern, on the Empowered Tapping Revolution, Comfortable, Confident, Inside Out, where we bring you top mentors in areas of health, wellness, business, and finance to share their top strategies to help you feel comfortable everywhere you go. So until next week, we'll see you then. Bye.
Bye.